How long has this been lingering? How long has it impacted you?
I mean, for a while now. It just finally got to a point where I had to sit down and sit and rest. I mean, that's really what it was. It was one of those nagging injuries. Uh, so I finally had to sit down.
Spo said it was kind of overcompensation issues. Was it always the back? Or was it other bunch of
Nah,
things that were?
nah, it wasn't always the back. It just crept up to the back.
Is this something you felt before, Bam? Is it an issue you felt like you kind of what you're feeling now you had to do with the past?
Far as nagging injuries, yeah. I mean, but it's the NBA. We always, guys always try to play through things, and when they can't, you sit down and rest.
How close do you feel to returning?
We'll see tomorrow.
So possibly ready to bang against Joker on Monday?
I don't know.
Is it nice to see, even while you're missing time, this team still kind of get back on track?
For sure. Nobody wants to lose. We like to walk out this locker room, with a smile on our face, with that personality going, and really feeling that joy back. So, I'm happy for the team, obviously, being able to just communicate, be in the huddles, and be a part of the success.
With you being out, Nico gets a chance. With Tyler being out, Pella gets a chance. How nice is it to see guys, number one, get the chance, and number two, step up to the challenge?
I feel like they would have still played if we were playing.
How nice does it feel to see them thrive when you're not playing?
I mean, I want everybody to thrive. Not just them, it's everybody. So, from that standpoint, obviously, Pele's missed some time. Nico's missed some time, so it's good for him to be back in the rotation, feeling that good energy.
You were part of that run of 8 losses in 9 games. How much do you want to get back and enjoy this kind of stuff, the 140s and the good feeling again?
I guess soon.
Oh,
You mentioned how it sucks kind of being on that personal little slip of yours when you were playing. Was there any correlation at all with the nagging back injury and that possibly taking a part of that, or was it just more so shots not falling?
I think it goes hand in hand. More so not shots not falling. I'm not going to make an excuse because I was hurt why I didn't make shots. That makes no sense. I'm healthy enough to play, and I played, so that's no excuse. So I'm going to say it was just shots not falling. It's a long season. We're going to go through ups and downs. We're going to go through slumps, and we're going to get back in the groove.
The offense you guys can be.
The key was the defense, honestly. Getting stops, putting the pressure on them. I mean, 2 fast-paced teams. It was going to be who can limit the easy baskets in transition and who was able to get the easiest baskets, and we were able to get stops and create easy baskets on our turnovers. That's what got us going in the second half, and that's the style of basketball we like to see and we know we're capable of. So we just got to continue doing that.
Well, Spo mentioned the assertiveness of Wiggins, kind of with that second unit. What did you like from what you saw from him tonight?
Just him being aggressive. I talked to Wiggs a few times. But we need him to be aggressive, assertive on offense. Doing the little things, playing off of the catch, attacking guys, put him in the post, and just being confident in everything that he does and aggressive. Really like that. And then also just his energy. Keeping plays alive. His second jumps on offensive rebounds, and then his athletic ability on the defensive end. And I thought he really locked into the second half of contesting everything and using that athletic ability to get stops down the stretch.
2 wins. I know it's modest, but it's a 2-game winning streak. How do you build off this?
Continue on with this blueprint. We know the style of basketball that we need to play on a nightly basis, the team that we need to be, the physicality, the toughness, the grittiness, and we've seen that the last 2 games, and we just got to continue that. We can't get complacent. We can't get overconfident that, is this going to happen? And we got to make it happen. Teams know what they're facing and the style of basketball that we're going to play, so they're ready for it, and we got to adjust and meet that same energy and that physicality and that toughness night in and night out. These last 2 games was a testament of how we were playing early in the season and just the team that we can be, so we'll continue doing that down the stretch.
Obviously, with Tyler and Bam out, you really stepped up. A lot of contributions tonight, but you stepped up in particular. Was there sort of conversations that you were going to be the one that was going to lead that group, especially in that fourth quarter, to kind of take this away?
No, not no conversation. When we go out there, we just try to do it collectively. And everyone's looking out for each other, trying to play pace, get stops, and when we do that, everyone eats, everyone feels good.
Wiggs, you guys forced 26 turnovers tonight, 21 last night. Almost half of those were live ball. Is there anything you guys were doing differently to help generate those turnovers that kind of get you guys running?
We're just trying to, look out for each other. That's the main thing, and be the aggressors. I feel like when you're the aggressors, good things, will happen.
Suppose talking about that kind of unit that you were with Pella and Drew and Jaime and Nico, can you kind of talk about playing with those type of guys, especially in a huge part of the game?
Oh man, it's fun. It's fun with those guys. Someone like Nico. Nico's 6'10", and he's pushing the pace like a point guard. So it's fun to play with all those guys. I feel like they all stay in attack mode. We help each other out, and we just try to get the best shot and wherever we can to win. So it was definitely a fun group to play with.
Andrew, just a follow-up on Nico, how beneficial you think a game or back-to-back games like this can be for him after kind of a rocky start to the year?
Great. It's great for him. We all know what he can do and, what he's capable of. And tonight shows it. He's a, 6'10" that can play any position. Very talented.
Spo was just in here saying that this team is better when you're assertive and aggressive throughout the game. How much have coach and guys continued to be on you about that, of just continue to stay aggressive and look for your offense?
They just tell me, an aggressive me is the best version of, myself. So, I just got to stay with it and, continuously do it. Thank you.
Jaime, obviously looking at a second straight win here, and again these performances kind of maybe creepily looking like the start of the season. But what's sort of working for you guys these last two games, specifically tonight?
Just a lot. I think collectively we're really just buying into the principles that we've been working on since training camp. We kind of got away from it, and we realized that what works. And for us, that's cutting, being disruptive, reckless, playing fast. So we really just got back to what wins for us, and just embracing that identity and bringing that every single night.
This is 2 games in a row where Wiggs with the second unit has kind of expanded leads. You guys have played well off each other. I'm just wondering what you like about that lineup specifically, and maybe you and Wiggs individually, what you guys like about bouncing off one another.
I love playing with Wiggs. He just does so much. He impacts the game in so many levels, defensively, offensively. Just a guy that, like I said, just impacts the game in so many ways. And he's a big help to our group. Obviously, he's got so much experience, knowledge. And to just have him in that group with us really just settles us in, for sure.
Nico had started preseason and early season so well, then he had kind of a few uneven weeks, had the elbow injury. What have you seen the last 2 games that kind of makes it look like he's finding his game a little bit?
Yeah, I think people forget how young he still is. He's still got so much to grow and learn. And he's been through so many highs, so many lows, and we have his back through it all. And just for him to come out there tonight, it just shows how great of a talent he is and how much he can really impact the game. When he's getting rebounds, pushing the floor, it brings just a whole new dynamic to our team that really just fits so well with us and how this team wants to play. And I think it plays to his advantages. And something that I told him, man, just let it fly, man. No one cares. Just shoot the ball. And he's a great shooter. I shoot with him every single day. I know this guy can shoot, so I just tell him let him fly. And once he lets it fly and lets everything else go, he's an incredible player.
During the kind of stretch of losing games there was the team was taking about 33% of their looks at the rim. Mm-hmm. Over the past 2 games, it's been about half. How much of an emphasis, talking about what you were speaking about earlier, has there been at getting back to getting as many shots up, closer to the basket?
Yeah, I think it all coincides with our pace. Once we play with a lot of pace, we get a lot more transition buckets. Most transition buckets are layups. That helps with percentages, helps with relief points, so many things. So just our pace, I think, is what really allowed us to get back to getting layups.
That fourth quarter.
Well, it was a great, spirit. Really, the last 48 hours. Guys just getting lost into the team, into the game, into, the process of what it needs what it was needed to win these games, and not thinking about anything else. There was just great clarity of mind. Nobody was getting in the way of each other. That the league can happen, and we have a great locker room. It's just it was just great defensive spirit and a connected collective offense. The bodies and ball have been moving for 2 nights. We know what the formula is, and we also know when we get away from that. But it was great to see like the back and forth, and the Pacers have been doing that pretty much all year. It's you can't look at their record. That's a prideful group, and a very competitive group. And so it's just going back and forth, a lot of skirmishes. But, that group we had out there in the fourth quarter that broke it open, I don't think they've played any minutes together, really, unless we did it in Atlanta. But the Drew, Pella, Jaime, and Nico and Wiggs, and it was great to see them in the zone, making multiple efforts regardless of, what coverage you're in. You have to do hard things. And they were flying around, and the pace was fantastic. Nico does give you a different element. He's in there with the pace, and Jaime, those guys only know one speed, in transition.
Obviously, with Bam and Tyler out, you need more from others. How much did you like watching Wiggs kind of take control there and just his assertiveness on both ends?
Yeah, both nights. He was really good. Really, that's a good word, assertive on both ends of the court. It's just fun to see him when he's competing at that level. He has those kind of gifts to be able to make the difficult look easy. The contest, the blocks, the multiple efforts that he was able to do defensively in the zone. Those are not easy things. And then, he really got on a roll offensively. And he did it from every facet, putting his head down, getting some transition, making some mid-range, some threes. But he was just, very assertive, and we're a better basketball team when he has that mindset. It might not lead to this kind of stat line, but that mindset is really important for our team.
All the turnovers in the last 2 games probably help fit his style of play, but what have you liked about what you're getting from Nico, not just in terms of shooting and scoring, but the overall floor game?
Yeah, we've felt this all along. It's just been, an uneven start to this season for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. We're here, and we know how important he can be, and how different we can look. When he's playing that style of basketball. He definitely has to clean up some of the footwork. Turnovers. He had 1 turnover to Kalel when we were up 8. I think we had a chance to go up 10, but they have a great connection. It's just like 4 inches higher. He'll get that stuff. But the footwork, he's got to work on that, clean that up. But I want him being aggressive, particularly in transition. That gets us out to a different, place. He and Jaime, like I said, put their foot on the gas, and I want that. It can do some things like we saw in that fourth quarter.
You just alluded to it, but what did you like from Jaime today? It seemed like they really kept it in Indiana at bay throughout the game, and then, of course, in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, he was really good last night. He's been very consistent this year, and I know there was a stretch, when we were losing some, those games that, he was missing some shots, and then there's some plays he could make. But the competitive will and the competitive spirit, that's what we need, and he's all about that. And he's getting more comfortable now in his role to start using his voice more, which is also great. But I just think the playmaking that he had, the last 2 nights. Last night, in particular, he really started the game just, getting guys involved. But we need his paint touches. We need that aggressiveness, that stuff where he can create something out of nothing. That's good teams have that quality.
You referenced it before, but that lineup with Wiggins and the second unit is 2 nights in a row where it's kind of expanded leads and kind of played pretty well together on both ends. Just what do you think works there with that specific group?
Well, we're still finding out information about our team, right? I mean, we've had some injuries, so it's been tough to totally find things out. But I've cycled through a few guys in that lineup, and for 2 nights, I like it. I think defensively it made us dynamic. I think just the way the contrast of, yes, he can run and he's an athlete, but he's naturally like a settle you down type player. And then you have Nico and Jaime are like running. I just think it's a good contrast. He gives you also that size. So if you're playing Nico at center, you also have Jaime and Wiggs, who are big wings. But it looked good the last 2 nights, and anything that's looking good right now, it's like, all right, let's just try to lean into those things. All right, thank you.